We may now have the first video obtained by the media that shows Russian soldiers committing war crimes in Ukraine. CNN and the BBC have obtained footage from March, which claims to show Russian forces gunning down civilians on the outskirts of Kyiv. CCTV cameras appear to capture the moment that the soldiers arrived at a motorhome dealership. A security guard comes to meet them, as you see right there, at the gate. And we understand they talk, smoke cigarettes together before the soldiers leave. Two then return and shoot the guard and the owner of the company. The security guard survived the attack, but later died of his wounds. As he bled out in his office, the Russian soldiers then looted the showroom. All right, my next guest tonight is an advisor to Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs on issues of international criminal justice. He's also Ukraine's agent in the ICJ case against Russia on allegations of genocide in The Hague. I'm pleased to welcome to the program tonight Anton Korinovich. It's good to have you on the program tonight. I want to just get your reaction to the video that has been obtained by the media. What do you see there?
Good evening from Kyiv, Brunt. Well, actually, it's no surprise. We all here in Ukraine know that the commission of war crimes and the commission of crimes in particular by Russian soldiers against Ukrainian civilians in the outskirts of Kyiv, in Bucha, in Irpin, in Hostomel, in Borodyanka, and actually in many, many other places, they are now being fixed and documented by Ukrainian prosecutors, by investigators from foreign states who came here on the site to work, to gather evidence, to fix and document everything this. So I think that sooner than later, a lot more of such evidence on camera by international media or Ukrainian media will come to the arena, and we will see more of the atrocities committed by the Russians here in Ukraine.
This is an unusual situation. You have a war raging in your country, and you are about to put suspects, Russian soldiers, on trial for war crimes. This is going to be a trial for Ukraine's justice system as well, isn't it?
Of course, it would have been, I would say, a test and the challenge for legal and justice system of every nation. But this is what we need to do, and we don't need to wait for that till the end of this war, till the end of this armed conflict. And this is a big task and challenge both for Ukrainian prosecutorial authorities and Ukrainian courts, but also for the international criminal justice system, in particular for the International Criminal Court, because it is obvious that the biggest portion of cases against Russian soldiers, of course, should be prosecuted here in Ukraine, but there should be the cases of those who are on top of the tree of big fish cases, and they should go to the ICC, to The Hague. So a lot of
do you think that will happen? Anton, do you think that will happen? I mean, I know you're talking about Vladimir Putin there. Do you think that he will ever have to face justice for, ordering this invasion?
We need to do all that we can in order for, in particular, Putin and his accomplices to face trial, and for letting all this happen, for committing a crime of aggression. And there is an important incentive launched just in the end of February by prominent international lawyers and Ukrainian lawyers of establishing the special tribunal for the crime of aggression against Ukraine. So we are now working on it, and this is exactly the instrument which can lead to responsibility of the highest-ranking Russian officials for the crime of aggression against Ukraine.
Yeah, and I know that you're collecting evidence, and it seems that the act of collecting evidence is not particularly difficult. I mean, the Russians soldiers, they don't seem particularly concerned about covering up what they are doing and leaving behind. Do you get the sense that they're they're able to do this? They're doing this because they think they can do this with impunity.
Well, it may be the case, but I think there is also another issue, another reason why are they behaving like that. This is their strategy of waging war. They are in general war criminals. Every war in which Russia participated brought a lot of hundreds and thousands of war crimes and crimes against humanity. In Georgia, in Chechnya, here in Ukraine, and I do believe that this is really one of the instruments of waging war for Russians to commit war crimes. But I think that now this is a moment when they should stop feeling that they will not have any accountability, any responsibility. And I think that this is, as I said, a challenge and a test both for Ukrainian legal system and for international criminal justice to bring perpetrators to trial.
And how much support are you getting from outside Ukraine for this? It's a Herculean act for any justice system. Are you getting help from outside, from Western Europe, the United States?
Well, of course, we're getting support, in particular when we talk about the International Criminal Court. 43 states asked the Office of the Prosecutor, asked Karim Khan, to open investigation into the situation of Ukraine. So 43 states acted, we may say, on behalf of Ukraine, yes, on behalf of finding justice for the victims and for these mass atrocities crimes. When we talk about the establishment of the tribunal for the crime of aggression, we also do see the support from European nations, from prominent international lawyers who want to assist and to help as much as they can in order for us to establish this tribunal. When we talk about Ukrainian national capacity to work with these cases, we see that a lot of states send investigators, prosecutors, policemen here to Ukraine.
Well, we will definitely be following all of this and the trials that result. Anton Karinovich, we appreciate your time and your insights tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the German foreign minister speaking there. The United Nations and several aid organizations say that women are bearing the brunt of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Many have experienced sexual violence by Russian soldiers. In areas retaken from Russian troops, civilians have given horrifying accounts of sexual violence. Ukraine's human rights ombudsman has received hundreds of reports, but the true numbers, they are impossible to calculate. The International Criminal Court has already opened investigation into more than 400 cases. And the UN is working with local authorities to get aid to survivors and other women at risk. Big question, what is being done to help women targeted with sexual violence? I asked Alexandra Matvichuk. She's a human rights lawyer and she's head of the nonprofit organization, the Center for Civil Liberties.
Since the new wave of Russian large-scale invasion in February this year, we restored our initiative Euromaidan SOS and brought up several hundreds of volunteers who speak with victims of war crimes and witnesses of war crimes as well, and documenting their testimonies. And among these war crimes, there is also cases of sexual violence, rapes, which is committed by Russian soldiers. We have several such cases, and all of them are women who were raped by Russian soldiers, and one, it was men. And because we work with ordinary people who are not prepared for such kind of experience and not prepared to provide a proper questionnaire and conversation with survivors of sexual violence, we closely cooperate in this regard with other initiatives and organizations who specialized on assistance to survivors of sexual violence.
And we understand that, I mean, these are all horrifying cases. We understand some have been women who have been raped, and it's happened right in front of their families and their children. I mean, it's hard to imagine. Can you describe to us the long-term, the lasting effects just being an eyewitness to this can have for the people there who become victims of this?
As I told, we coordinate our efforts with other organizations, and our colleagues from partner organizations told that now they work and provide psychological assistance to women who were witness of sexual violence. Mm-hmm. She was a witness how Russian soldiers regularly raped a child, mm-hmm. and she couldn't help this child and couldn't stop it. And it's provide like a huge damage also for her health. And now the specialists work with not only with the child and with the family, but also with people who were obliged to see the act of sexual violence and now feeling a huge guilty that they couldn't stop it.
And it's difficult to talk about crimes like this in any circumstance, but how difficult is it for women to talk about this when this has happened in a war zone and when a soldier maybe has done this, has committed the crime?
It's very difficult to speak, and that's why sexual violence is the most hidden crimes, and survivors of sexual violence very often not apply not to police, not to human rights defenders, because they consider this crime as a shame. And this is also very important to understand the nature of the crime, because it provides us judicial qualification. What do I mean? Through the concrete victims of rapes, Russian soldiers targeted Ukrainian society at all. Like people feeling ashamed because it was happened with them. Some people feeling guilty because they couldn't protect and stop it. Another people feeling a fear to be treated in the same way. So in result, it's provide a frozen effect to resistance. And that's why we consider that Russians use rapes as a part of terror against civilians in order to quickly obtain control over the region.
Alexandra Matvichuk, a human rights lawyer, head of the nonprofit organization, the Center for Civil Liberties. We appreciate your time and your insights and the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.